Social media horror can take many different forms, exploring the medium of screen itself, such as screen life movies like Dashcam and The Den. It can also delve into the dangers of online relationships, covering topics like bullies, stalking, and hacking. These films tap into the fears and anxieties we associate with social media, and horror writers have seemingly endless material. The tone of these films are also split among subgenres within horror. Films like Deadstream and Spree play off stereotypes to make a horrific satire, while films like Deep House take us along with them just for the scare, using the social media aspect and in this example, live streaming as a device to explain why the footage exists and why the characters are in the situation in the first place. Either way, social media may connect us all, but it holds a dark side, which is something that is gaining a lot of attention in the horror world. My videos are always for adult eyes only. I mean, you wouldn't be looking at something on the internet you weren't supposed to. Today's video is sponsored by Adam and Eve, who not only provide discreet packaging, but have a no questions asked money back guarantee. They're also committed to giving back to the community, with 20% of the company's profits going to charities such as DKT, which provides funding for HIV prevention worldwide. Use the code SPOOKY on adamandeve.com for 50% off of one item and free shipping within the US and Canada. Exclusions do apply. Thanks, Adam and Eve. Let's start at the start. Although it's arguable, one of the earliest examples of social media appearing in horror is the 1998 film Strangeland. The film centers around an online predator who inflicts ritual pain on his victims in the name of enlightenment. While not directly about social media, it explores the dangers of interacting online, with the film opening with two girls, and yes, that is Linda Cardellini, using a chat room to hook up with a local boy. And surprise, surprise, the two girls never return home, leading detectives into one of the most stereotypical threats of the time, an underground group who are, gasp, into heavy metal, body modifications, and suspension. You know, the true devils of our planet. It's reefer madness of the late 90s. The film taps into a whole new fear, online predators, a new type of horror villain for us, one that can lure you from the safest of all places, inside your home. Moving forward to 2022, we have Feardotcom, a film where logging into a website leads to terrifying and inexplicable deaths. Although the film may not hold up well today, trust me, I watched it recently, you don't want to do it. It does tackle the idea of the internet as a source of horror. In this film, we follow a New York City detective investigating a series of mysterious deaths, and this is all connected to one disturbing website, one that is spreading like a virus in the real world, killing people using their greatest fears. The movie's reveal turns paranormal, but really the aim of the movie is to discuss the implications of harmlessly being curious online, or really morbidly curious. We're like rubbernecking a website that we shouldn't be on. And in the early 2000s, that was relatable to many teens with the rise of, well, let's say blue waffle isn't the worst thing you could look up. Although the delivery wasn't the best, I think the dark idea behind the film is a very compelling idea, drawing a focus from the things we search when no one is looking. I honestly think that this one might be due a remake, especially now when true crime podcasts, documentaries, and internet sleuthing is at an all-time high. This would be a good way to rediscover the message of staying, well, in your lane. Not that I'm innocent in any of this. The next film, I wouldn't say pioneered the subgenre, but definitely landed at the start of the trend as we currently know it. It's social media horror Unfriended from 2014. This screen life supernatural horror film is one of the first social media horror movies to be set entirely on a computer screen. It follows a group of high school students that are haunted by a former classmate inside a Skype conversation. Unfortunately, this former classmate ended her life due to cyberbullying. Unfriended explores the themes of bullying in the digital age and uses the screen format to immerse the viewers in the story. I don't know about you, but I am so glad I grew up without social media being as accessible accessible as it is right now, especially in my teen years. Unfriended may get more credit, but a year before, The Den championed the idea of horror screen life. Mimicking a website similar to Chat Roulette, The Den connects random people to each other via webcam, and when our protagonist witnesses what she believes may be a murder, we go on a journey with her to discover the horrific truth. This is a low-budget indie film, and it's extremely effective, showing the dark reality that you never know who's on the other side of the camera. Another notable film is Friend Request from 2016. Although this film is in English, it is a German supernatural psychological horror, and it delves into the dark truth behind online bullying. The story follows a popular college student whose life takes a terrifying turn after accepting a friend request from a social outcast. Friend Request highlights the consequences of online interactions and the devastating effects of cyberbullying. And although this sounds very familiar to Unfriended, Friend Request is noticeably more of a character-driven story. It doesn't utilize the in-screen or screen life technique, making it less immersive but more confronting in many ways, especially for teens going through similar things. And we can't forget standalone sequel Unfriended Dark Web, released in 2018. It explores the sinister side of the internet, including themes of the dark web and hacking. We follow a group of friends that find a laptop that leads them to a dangerous game. And like the first film, this film relies on the same screen life technique. But as the title suggests, it reveals the darkness of the deep web, of course. I'm really glad they changed the subject matter, and I found the sequel to be just as, if not more, intriguing than the original. So if you have put it off, I do highly recommend giving it a shot. In 2018, Cam offered a fresh take on social media horror, focusing on the experiences of a cam girl who discovers that she has been replaced by an identical version of herself for her own show. The film is a major mind-bender about the loss of self-identity, and if that's not terrifying enough, the story is also taken from the writer's own experiences as a cam girl after having her videos pirated and reposted. The film leans into the idea of losing your identity online and how that bleeds into your real life identity. So much so that those around you can't tell the difference. Spree from 2020 is a satirical horror thriller that exposes the dark side of social media. The film follows a rideshare driver who goes to extreme lengths to become famous online, live streaming himself committing murders. Spree offers a scathing critique of social media culture and the intense desire to go viral. But while Spree offers a light-hearted, over-the-top viewing experience, its roots are actually quite dark, with obvious links between the main character and serial killer Elliot Rodger, who posted a retribution video to his YouTube channel before committing his heinous crimes. I've actually done a side-by-side comparison video if you're more interested in the details of this movie and that story. Spree not only uses found footage techniques ingrained in social media, aka live streaming, but it also shows a host is willing to do anything to become famous, showing both sides of social media horror, the medium used as a plot device and the darker sides of the hunger for fame explored. Honestly, I think it's one of the best social media horrors to date. In the same year, Host was released, taking advantage of the Zoom platform. This British horror film tells the story of friends who attempt an online seance during a Zoom meeting, unknowingly inviting a demonic presence into their homes. Host maximizes the webcam format, delivering genuine tension and terrifying scares. Host was extremely successful in part due to its timing, taking place during a worldwide lockdown, causing many people to relate to the circumstances, and because of its in-screen screen live format and being released on VOD, since again we're in lockdown and many people could not go to the cinema, audiences watched it on their laptops, resulting in a highly immersive experience. It's a simple premise and it had really good timing. Social media horror Sissy took a different approach, exploring reality versus Instagram personas. Much like Spree, we're put into the hot seat following someone struggling. The film is about a successful social media influencer whose anxieties surface when she encounters her childhood bully during a weekend away. Sissy delves into toxic positivity. Social media does take a back seat in the storyline, but it's a unique tie-in for this slasher, showing the disconnect between what we preach and how life really is. And Deadstream takes a different approach yet again. It's a supernatural horror comedy that is a satire on YouTubers and how desperate their pursuit is for views. The film follows a disgraced content creator who live streams himself spending a night in a haunted house. It uses the found footage format to showcase the live stream while laughing along with its audience at the caricature of the host. This is a social media horror in its most basic form. It's a fun way to develop a character into a known stereotype, accelerating character development while utilizing the screen life format as a live stream, giving purpose to why he is there and why he films the entire event. Views, of course. This one is great and it's just a fun time, nothing deep. The evolution of social media horror has evolved immensely from Strangeland. We are fastly approaching to the hundreds of films based on this subject, and the theme isn't going anywhere. And believe it or not, there's still so much to discover. Like it or not, social media is the primary form of long-distance communication in our modern world, and the effects of parasocial relationships, doxing, and even AI have only just begun. There is no end in sight. We have just reached our Black Mirror phase of human evolution. These films tap into our deepest fears and anxieties about the online world, reminding us that social media has a dark side and also keeping it very relatable. They do what horror does best, keeps us on the edge of our seats while examining our deepest, darkest fears that are just at our fingertips. Before we wrap up, I want to give you some suggestions of my favorite non-horror social media films, and they are all thrilling, so get ready for a ride. Zola is the first one. This is based on a real interaction on Twitter and it's truly magical. Ingrid Goes West. I've seen this film about 10 times. It's a dark, thrilling, and funny ride with Aubrey Plaza. And of course, you can't miss out on Screen Life mystery thrillers Searching and Missing. Thank you so much for watching today's video and thank you to today's sponsor. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you did enjoy this video, a lot of you were asking for it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with some friends. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you here. I'm also over on Twitch playing horror games weekly, twice a week at the moment, and I'm loving it. So I'd love if you can come over and hang out with me. I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay safe, especially on social media, and stay spooky. Bye, friends.